Good morning, and it is Thursday, New Year's Eve. So, tonight we will be saying goodbye to 2020 and hello to 2021. But again, it's just going to be another Friday, so it's nothing to be afraid of or worried about. We are going to keep living our best lives, right? So, with that being said, I hope everyone is up and atom, full of energy, positivity, and we're going to spread them around today, all our positivity like little bright rays of sunshine on everybody else, right? Because we have so much to give other people. So, today we're going to talk about anger management. Everybody gets angry, but everybody does not respond the same way to their anger. Uh, some people can be angry and walk away. Some people can be angry and go and do exercise. Some people can be angry and they may go and pray. They may go and meditate, do some Tai Chi, something like that, while other people are more prone to be violent, to tear up some stuff, so to speak. So it's important that we as adults are able to manage our anger because, and the reason I said because we're adults, for those of us that have kids, we model to our children the behavior that they should have, right? So that's what's wrong with all my kids. I wasn't a very good model because I didn't know how to effectively express my anger. Just flying off the handle, screaming and yelling, all that stuff that doesn't give you anything but negative consequences. So again, we always got to focus on how can I have a better consequence? What can I do differently? And the first thing with anger, the biggest key is to catch it early. Like, don't wait until you're in a rage, find something that you can do differently in the beginning when you start to just get that irritable mood, right? Right then, something needs to change, right? And the way to help that is to recognize it. And again, we go back to mindfulness, being able to be self aware, mindful, connected to the current moment that this is what's going on. So, no, that's not my ex screaming at me. That's this person, their voice is just a little elevated. But if I'm not self aware and mindful, I'm going to connect it to my past traumas. I'm going to connect it to my past hurt. And then here comes the volcano. So we have to be self aware and be able to catch it in the moment. I need to walk away. And it's perfectly fine to say to people, I need to take a moment, because I'm feeling a little upset. I'm feeling a little salty here with what you're telling me. So let me just take a break so I can process that. And when I feel calmer, I can come back and discuss it with you. Or we'll table this for tonight and we'll hit it tomorrow. Or give me an hour. Whatever it is, you got to be able to recognize it so that you can take a time out. Remove yourselves from the situation so you can get out of your feelings and get into that logical mind that's able to think rationally about what's going on and how I should proceed. So, of course, as I said earlier, you can do some exercise. So instead of punching somebody, jump on a treadmill, go outside, take a brisk walk, take a run, whatever it is you need to do. Lift some weights. You guys got those gym memberships? Put them to use. And if nothing else can make you do it, let anger send you to the gym. Don't be like me paying that money every month and they don't even know who you are, right? Um, Deep breathing, we use that. You can use that for anxiety, for anger, just to get yourself in control, to pace your heart rate. A lot of times when you get anger and anxiety, we'll start with A, you get your heart races and starts to speed up to the point that you feel like you can feel it pulsating in your ears. So you can do your deep breathing, taking that deep breath in, holding it for 4, then releasing. We're like 7. That helps you get in control because number one, you're distracting yourself because you're focusing on the rising of the chest, the falling of your chest, you're breathing out, and you want to make sure you're pursing your lips and you want to make that sound. You know, you want to make that sound like you're breathing through that straw. Expressing your anger. But guess what? Expressing your anger, you don't express it when you're pissed off. You got to wait till you calm down. Then you're going to come back and express it and say, let's talk about that. I felt really hurt when you said that. Or I felt really angry when you implied, like that. I like this one. Think of the consequences. Some people don't need no more trouble, right? You've been in enough trouble. You don't need any more trouble. So think of the consequences. How is this going to affect me? How is this going to affect the person that I'm talking to? If it's a relationship, how is this going to affect the relationship? And is it really that important that I say this or act this way and cause all these issues only to come back and have to kiss somebody's butt, have to apologize for my ignorance? Is it worth it? I'm telling you, if you could even just think that thought every time, you're probably going to come up with, and no, it's not. So let's think about what happens. Anger. The first thing is the trigger. What have I seen? What has been said? What have I smelt? Right? What have I tasted? What have I touched? We want to always use our 5 senses to recognize and describe what the trigger is. Why am I angry right now? Why? Right? Because there's an answer. We just have to find it. But there's always an answer for something. And I'm telling you, if we're still stuck in the past, if we have unforgiveness, 9 times out of 10, that's where it's coming from. So here's the trigger. Somebody threw something and it almost hit me as my trigger. So the next thing is, what's in my mind? What are my thoughts about that? What are my feelings about that? How do I feel about that? Almost that hit me. We all know how we really feel, right? Somebody threw something. You like, don't play with me today, or that I got time. And then the good part is then I say, after my thoughts, my feelings, what did I do? What's my behavior, right? And then again, what are my consequences going to be, right? But when we go back to the behavior, we have to remember that all of our behavior comes from our belief system. What do we believe, right? Because if I believe that it's disrespectful for someone to do that, how do you think I'm going to act? If I think that everything is racial, how do you think I'm going to act? If I think people are out to get me, how do you think I'm going to act? If I talk about people all the time, I'm going to think that everybody's talking about me, right? It's our beliefs. So a lot of times when you have repeated anger for certain things that are triggers, ask yourself, what are my beliefs concerning this? Because a lot of times if you can locate that and rationalize that, you can get rid of that trigger, right? So it doesn't bother you anymore. You can realize that, okay, well, I think that's disrespectful. He's 7. He doesn't know anything about that. He's not doing that to be disrespectful. And come from a place of awareness and knowing and not assuming. Don't jump to conclusions. Really find out the facts before you get to checking people and going off and all this hoopla. I've seen people in the store going off about prices and price tags and things like that. And it's like they don't ask any questions. They just assume something, they run with it, and they just make this big issue only to find out that that's not the case. Or that, hey, I can fix it. It's okay. You stop cussing me out and things like that. So be mindful of your anger. But most of all, research it. Why am I mad? What are my thoughts? What are my feelings? What are my consequences? What are my core beliefs that are leading to this anger? Right? So if you want to take anything into 2021, take that. Let's not be angry, people. Let's be happy people, right? So we have to resolve things within ourselves so that we can be that happy-go-lucky person. And people be like, why don't nothing bother you? You're like, oh, girl, because I know what triggers me. I know what my beliefs are. I've got all that stuff resolved. So I am on to greatness. I am on to success, right? Because a lot of things we want are behavior. And y'all be careful what you put. If you want to have your own business, be careful what you put on Facebook. Be careful what you say because you have an understanding of what you're saying. But people that don't know you, right? And that's what you always want, some new business. People that don't know you can take it and run with it. And you'll be shocked, confused, like, huh? So you got to be really mindful of what you're saying and how you're presenting yourself. Say it in private. If it's questionable or even if it's something that could step on people's toes, say it in private, right? People, because people, out in the internet world, they don't care anyway. They're going to talk about you anyway. It doesn't matter. But always be the best version of yourself as good as you can. We have ups and downs, but it's okay. So, anyway, let's go into 2021 with a praise. Let's go into 2021 with some positivity and great expectations. So, let's make today amazing.